Yo, what's up, guys? How's everyone doing today? Hopefully, you're doing well. Wherever you guys are tapping in, hopefully, everything's going good for you. However, you get here, whether you're on the timeline or you're catching this live, as you check in, could you like this video? If you haven't already, could you please hit subscribe? Also, pinned right here in the comments section below. Like always, become a JSB Insider. We are a community that's growing 6 months, 7 months in. We're approaching 400 VIPs. Enter our Discord either through YouTube or our Patreon, whichever way you choose. It's a couple bucks a month. Support the channel, become part of our growing betting community. It's not just boxing. This weekend we launched for the Aussies, NRL, AFL, and this weekend we have the Melbourne F1. So we got all pro sports in there, but we specialize in boxing. And if you're an OG to the channel, I say welcome back. And if you're new, I say welcome. Let's get into this. I'll leave it up. You know, we have fights to talk about. We have the Zuffa card. There's a Pro Box card. There is the UFC. I already posted our first ticket of the week, guys. So if you're a JSB Insider, you should already have my two-leg UFC double. It's a plus money two-legger paying plus 116. You know how we do things. You're always going to get plus money tickets on the channel. And I'm going to leave it open to you guys. I'm going to get our odds channel sorted out. We're going to get our odds page up and running. Let's add this to the stage. Remove. Share. Okay, share screen. All right, we'll see if this accesses and everyone's hitting like, what's up, boys? What's up, Emma? Yeah, just like it as you tap in, man. It's the easiest way to help the channel. However you want to help the channel grow, it's the best way to do it. I'll leave it open to you guys. I posted in the Discord. You guys were asking me about the Stephen Butler versus Ramadan Hosseini fight. Let me add this. Why is this not working? Okay. Give me 1 second. Trying to figure this out. And it's not working. Oh well, I'll just talk to you guys until it uploads. Darwin, I'm a member. How do I join the Discord? I'll post the link right now. So, Darwin, all you have to do, if you're a member I see on YouTube, I will post the Discord link in the members post section. So whether you joined on Patreon or you joined on YouTube, I'm going to post the Discord link in both members section right now. Okay, so if you're on YouTube, go to the posts section. And I just posted it. So all you have to do is click that link and you're in, Darwin. So let's talk to Non-Never. He says to Senny for the upset. Look, I don't see it, man. And I talked about this on my Instagram, and I talked about this in the Discord already. And I'll break this fight down. The reason why I don't see this, there's multiple reasons. You got the A side factor in Stephen Butler. You got that's reason A. You got the main reason here is that Hosseini's a smaller dude coming up a division. So this is kind of, when you look at Stephen Butler, he's a live by the sword, die by the sword sort of fighter. You know, he either knocks you out or gets knocked out. He's been stopped 5 times. One of those 5 times was by Janabek Alamhanale, and he's been in there with some really good guys. His most recent version of himself is his best version. He's coming off a knockout win over a guy who stopped him 5 years prior. So this is a guy, and he's a big boy. This fight's at 168 pounds at super middleweight. Hosseini is a small guy who's known for beating small guys on points, And Steven Butler is a bigger guy known for knocking out bigger guys. That's why I like Steven Butler. If you like him on the money line, take it. I'm going to wait until props open up. I'm going to probably take a knockout prop for Butler to stop Hosseini. Look, is Butler the best fighter in the world? No, this is the action that the universe has given to us. This is on the Eye of the Tiger card. There's a couple decent fights on that card. Butler got stopped against, Patrice Volney, which is a worry because we know Patrice is a slick southpaw, but Patrice isn't that big of a puncher. And so, look, Butler's a fun, fan-friendly. He's a guy that in Montreal, people will come to see a couple times a year. They pack out the little Montreal Convention Center. They build the Eye of the Tiger card around him. And this most recent version of him at 31, 30 years old is knocking everybody out. But we've seen him get stopped. So look, if you like Hosseini on plus money, that's your play. Great value there. I'm hoping that I get the same or similar value to take Butler by knockout, and then we can meet in the middle. I don't see Hosseini doing it, though. Jake Salvador, what's up, buddy? Huh. Why won't this add anything to the stage? Use this tab instead. Share screen. Okay. Share screen. Oh, well. I'm not going to trip. I'll just talk to you boys. What's up, PJ? How's it going? Freaky Vid says, what's up, Mark Castro? Any update on your comeback fight? What's up, Mark Castro? How we feeling about Thursday's card? I have my one screen up here, but for some reason the StreamYard service I'm using is kind of acting up. So I'll bring it up. So if you guys are in Australia like myself, the Eye of the Tiger card is on Friday. The first fight starts Friday at 11 a.m., which is great. So this will be Thursday night in America, wherever you are in the world. So Sydney, Australia, the first fight we have is Moreno Fredero versus Sean McKelman. Then John Arobio versus Yomar Alamo, which is a fun fight. Leonard Perez, man, Leonard Perez is a dog. I think Perez is 16-0, 14 knockouts. Isaac Chilemba, I'm waiting for a knockout prop there. So this looks like, to me, just full transparency, the Eye of the Tiger card for me is going to be a half unit card. No shade to John Arobio, no shade to Lenar, no shade to Steven Butler, but I'm not going. I hit a fortune since January. So when I tell you guys, you guys have gotten better to communicate the questions about strategy of betting to me, and so when you ask, I'll tell. The Tiger Canada card, half unit for me. So, it'll allow me to be a little bit more riskier in terms of method of victories, etc. I'm looking at knockout props on this card, guys. Right now, I'm not getting any options because it's only Tuesday in Australia. We are 72 hours away from fight night. So I hope by tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'll get some props opening up. I like Lenar by knockout. I like John Arobio by knockout. I like Steven Butler by knockout. I still have to see the odds, though. I know Yomar Alamo been in there with some good dude. John Arobio could crack, man. And I just watched the documentary. I was torn. I was like, am I a believer in Arobio? And a Colombian guy, 16-0, I think 14 stoppages, young dude. This is a guy that, in the documentary I watched, he's fighting for everything. And I think Yomar Alamo is a name. Alamo's been in there with some real guys. And so I feel if Arobio could get the job done in his preparation, how he thinks he's going to get it done, it'll just project him up there. People will be impressed. I'm expecting Arobio to put on an impressive performance. So we'll see what happens. And then we have the Zuffa card, and right now the book I use in Australia is called Sportsbet. I'm only getting Jai Opetaia versus Glanton. It's just the money line. The odds are shit. Look, I'm not going to tell you to throw that fight on your parlay. It's $1.07. I mean, Jai Opetaia should handle Glanton. The issue is Glanton is a tough, tough guy. They call him bulletproof for a reason. He's going to have, I think he's going to be an inch or so shorter than Jai, but I think he has a 3-inch reach advantage. I like Jai on points, believe it or not. I think that Glant is durable. He was able to maneuver and last with the CBS. I'm still waiting on props. Right now, I'm leaning Jai on points, but we'll see. I'm going to try to pull Bet365 up for the boys. So sometimes they offer us options a little bit better, or they offer their props a little bit sooner than Sportsbet. Well, that's loading. McKelman seems very live. I haven't looked into it yet. DJ in the house. What's up, DJ Green? JSB Insiders in the house. Boy, JSB, we growing. We're growing. We're getting shout outs on Twitter now. We're getting shout outs on other I've gotten a lot of emails this weekend, man. So if you're new to the channel, welcome to our squad. It's not just me here. We got everybody you see in the chat with the little colored star. They're in the Discord. The JSB Patreon VIPs are in here. They're in the Discord. We're approaching 400. I got a couple emails from what are they called? Like, not conglomerates. Two separate people email me. They're part of some sort of like team of 5 to 6 guys who use our bets and they make money. I don't know, a syndicate. They're like, hey, what's up, man? We heard of you. People were talking about you on Twitter. One of our guys is in your Discord, man. You want us a bunch of money? And I'm always like, look, it's a team effort. It's not just me. I told you guys yesterday on the live stream. Shout out to, he's an insider. Shout out to, he's the one who gave me the lean on watching the stylistic matchup of the Navarrete about Sugar's reluctance to fight off his back foot. Blue Collar Boxing. Shout out to Blue Collar Boxing. Humble Crumble, we hope you're well too. Always a pleasure to have you here. Alex versus Jojo. What do you think about that, Emma? What do you think about that? I don't know how I think about that. I mean, what was crazy is when Jojo fought Regis, it was one of these fights where half the Discord a few months back were taking Jojo. I wasn't one of those. I took Regis. So during that fight, when that fight was going down, and every time Jojo would tap Regis and Regis would wobble, I'm like, what the hell? Is this a... And then you start looking a little bit deeper into Jojo Diaz. He was saying all the right things in fight week. He was talking about he's sober. He was talking about he's fighting for himself. He's fighting for his family. He said he's cleaned his lifestyle up. It seems like Jojo Diaz is 58 years old, but he's not that old. And, his power still seemed there. He lost a close decision to Regis. Alex Roca, I mean, yeah, we'll see. Stopco, do you got Jono taking L? I don't know, man. Jono's been in there with some good guys too. That fight's in what, 2 weeks, Chris? I'm salty. I'm salty. My laptop's internet's not working, man, because I want to bring up the screen for you. I got the internet going nuts. The John O'Carroll fight, yeah. I was looking at Jono's resume just last night, and there's some guys. He's fought some guys, man. People forget. All right, this is working. Let's add this share screen. Why is that not working? Why is this not working? This drives me insane. All right, let me see if I do it this way. That's a stage. But you can't see that. That's a stage. This is crazy, but you can't see that. Remove. Remove. Oh, well. Fuck it. It'll just be. Oh, you know what's insane? Give me 1 second, guys. I'll get back to you, Chris. I, I got some. I'm having some technical difficulties here. I'm in Canada. Shout out to the Canadians. Canucks, Canadians in the house. Some of the nicest people I know. I when in Niagara Falls. In Niagara Falls in 2002, they had just opened a. I think it was called the O. It was at the time in 2002. It was like the It Casino in Niagara, and we went there for New Year's Eve. And I almost got banned from that country. I was 21. 2000. I was 20. I think I had a fake ID. But I like Canada. I like Toronto. I haven't been there in like 20 years. Okay, I think I figured it out, dude. See, you guys be patient with me. I'll get to it eventually. I figured it out. Hey, we figured it out. All right, so now we could look at some stuff. So now we could look at some stuff. So you guys, we'll get into this. The Moreno Fendero fight. Look, this is like a C-level fight. I'll do my units real quick. Moreno Fendero, half unit. Now, I'm not gonna lie. When I do the Eye of the Tiger parlay for the boys, that'll be a half unit. I might go heavy on a Robio by knockout. But right now, and I'll let you know. Yeah, we're not getting props. So right now it's just money line. I don't have any action on this fight yet. I'm leaning on a Robio to stop Alamo. Leonard Perez, if you're unfamiliar with Leonard Perez, mate, this dude could crack. And Isaac Chilemba will be there to give him that fight. So right now, are we getting nope, no prop. So and guys, Eye of the Tiger cards, man, they put them together for bloodshed. Steven Butler, we talked about it. Has the props dropped in the last 10 minutes? Hell no. And then Jai, and that's the other one. And I'll check another book. I'll go to Bet365 to see. Okay, Jai, we actually have props on this fight. All right, so this is where I'm leaning right now. How do I move my head, my big ass head? We'll go right here so you guys could see. And sorry, I'm going to take that comment off. There you go. And you guys could just see the chat. The Moneyline Jai, right? This is the quick, brief rundown before you guys get to my Stats Stone live video. I'm dropping my Stats Stone live video tomorrow so you can see my like edited breakdown, analysis, and prediction. But you're going to get my rough draft right now, right? The $7, 100 on Jai on the money line gets you your money back plus $7. We're not going to mess with that. There's no value there. Plus 900 for Brandon Glanton. Will the dogs be barking? I just don't see it. Jai Opetaia is way too athletic, too much explosive power, too much boxing skills in terms of his angles, his variation for Glanton to beat him. Now, the issue is the $65, a 65% return on a knockout prop does not do it for me. Does Jai Opetaia knock people out? Of course he does. This is what he does. He sends people to the hospital. He doesn't just stop them. But, you know, Brandon Glenn, I think, is good enough to make it through. So I think right now I'm going to lean on the plus 170 and take Jai on points. It's a value play. If I take that, it'll probably be a full unit. I could see Glenn. They call him bulletproof for a reason. He has 3 losses, never been stopped, been in there with bigger dudes. I'm pretty sure Chris Billum Smith. Let's see how big Chris Billum Smith is. For the sake of, because Jai's listed at 6'2", but when you look at his frame, he's not like when he's up. Like if he were ever to go up to heavyweight, he wouldn't. He would be small. He doesn't carry a lot of body fat. So Jai, Opetaia. I think he's listed 6'2" with maybe a 70. What's his reach? 76-inch reach. I think Glanton has a 79-inch reach. We have to double check that. So, yeah, waiting for this to pop up. So Jai's listed 6'2" with a 76-inch reach. Glenn's listed at 6 feet. Yeah, so I knew. So Glenn, that's a memory for you boys. I knew Glenn has. So Glenn has a 3-inch reach advantage. He's a couple inches shorter, but with that reach advantage, he uses those long arms to get inside. He wants to be there on the inside. He's thick. He's going to be wider than Opetaia is. Really big, thick neck, big ass head. He could take a shot. They call him bulletproof for a reason. I think Glenn could go the distance with Jai. So that's what I'm leaning on. I want to see how big Billum Smith was, because Billum Smith looked like a monster in there. So Billum Smith is 6'3", big. Yeah, so my point is this: Glenn's been in there with bigger guys, and he's lasted with bigger guys, and I think he's going to be able to do the same. And even against Billum Smith, when he was getting touched, he was landing bombs on Billum. Billum Smith got a beard on him. After that fight, that was on the Wembley card, and who else was on that? There, Vidal Riley was on that fight card. It was sometime last year. We covered that entire card, and I remember Billum Smith beat him. I had Billum Smith winning like, at least 4 more rounds, but he was taking clean shots. He got a beard on him, dude. Never been stopped. And this takes us back to our betting odds. So that's where I stand right now. I want to get you. I want to see where you. I'm going to catch up to everybody what you guys are talking about. I got giant point, bro. On my part, see, I wouldn't. What I'm doing here on out is if I do a method of victory of plus money. If I take a method of victory of plus money, I'm either smashing that going heavy by itself. We're at plus money, boys, and this is where I feel as a teacher I've gotten better at this. Considering, look at the last since January our wins. If I'm taking a guy at plus money, boys, on a method of whether it's a method of victory or a money line, if I do parlay it, it'll be one leg like we did last week. We did it, and it went our way. I'll say we got lucky. It went our way. We knew our shit. Whatever you want to say, whatever adjective you want to put in there. If I do go Jai on points, I'll either do that by itself or I'll go Jai on points. I might just do Jai on points because I don't want you know what I'm saying. Because if I put Butler by knockout and something else happens and then I got nothing to show for the plus money, that's my whole thing, guys. The strategy of how to win consistently in betting is once you find your picks and you're already in plus money, don't get greedy and learn how to consistently get a W. Because I know a lot of you boys lost last weekend because you took a lot of our bets were aligned, but a couple of especially online, a lot of people were messaging me about the Abel Ramos pick. Is you guys were hitting your like 3-leg, 4, followed the lead, and taking Navarrete by knockout, but then you put Tamir Smalls at $1.25 on your parlay, and it's like that value is so shit. Why would you pair $1.25 with somebody like Nav at Nav to get the knockout? I think was plus 120. So it really comes down to the strategy. You want something to show for. I want something to show for. So strategy wise, that's one of my first and foremost sort of pieces of advice. If you really like a pick and you're getting plus money for it, whether it's money line or a method of victory, just smash it by itself. And for me, now I'm not obviously the odds are going to tell you Jai by stoppage. It's a 67% return. Now, if you have and this is once again back to strategy. If I know guys who their bankroll, they're betting $10,000 a pop. Now, I'll show you what I mean. So Jai by stoppage, you're getting 65% return. So right here. So if my bankroll is 10,000, a 65% return is amazing. So now that's a great bet if your bankroll's 10,000, if you have that sort of deep pockets, because now you're, Jai knocking Glanton out. I still don't like it, believe it or not. I don't see him stopping Glanton. I've watched Glanton his whole career. I think people are like, Glanton's tough as nails, man. He could take some shots. I think Jai's really good, and this isn't supposed to upset any Aussies. I think Jai's really, really good. I don't know yet if Jai is as good as people thinks he is. I mean, I have to say, I'm just being real with you, man. The one thing that you always get on my channel is at least my intuitive take. I've seen him buzz before. I've seen him kind of wobbled before. And how he fights so brave. His hands sometimes will be down. He's not the biggest sort of like physically statured guy. His chin sometimes right in front of you. The worries I have with him getting dropped are similar to my worries with David Benavidez getting stopped. And, I'm not I put both guys up there as the best, some of the best in the world. But when I look at flaws in David Benavidez's style, it's how aggressive he is in the pocket with his chin right in front of a guy who's just as big as him. He could definitely, his hands are down and he's shoe shining. Boom, he's shoe shining. He could, definitely get baited into something moving forward. We'll see if that happens. I'm a big, big fan of Benavidez. And I think that Opetaia has shown, Opetaia got his jaw broken against Maris Bradis in the second round. And it just shows you how tough the kid is. Nuts of steel. Gets his jaw broken in 2 places in the second round and fights the entire fight and wins the decision, I think, in the 12th. And became I think it was for the vacant IBF Cruiserweight World title. So Brandon Glanton is going to be on him the entire time. Longer arms, longer reach. I think Glanton could use that to get inside how he wants to do it. 65% return on the knockout just isn't doing it for me. I'd much rather be a riverboat gambler like we always do around these parts and take points at plus 170. So that's the pick I like. But I definitely don't think that, that Glanton beats him. I definitely don't think that Glanton beats him. I could see this fight turning into mid to late rounds, kind of like, this is going to sound crazy too, not that exciting. Later rounds, mid to late rounds, hugging, grabbing. Once you get into the 8th, 9th, 10th round, that's what I'm hoping. I love 270 here. So moving forward, that's what I like so far. Not my official pick. I'm like 80, 20, 70, 30, taking Jai on points at plus 170. When do you plan on making a slip for Thursday fight? Well, I don't have him yet, brother. Whenever I get him, I'll let you know. Yo, boy. Yo, Johnny, what do you think about Saggio? I just saw that today. I just saw that announced. I feel like we just saw Saggio, didn't we? Good fight coming up. Lily did really good against Diego Pacheco. Yeah, dude, what a great sport. Dude, there's not even a close second greatest sport. Boxing, because it's literally, we don't have seasons. It's constantly, I feel like we just saw Saggio and Pacheco. Saggio held himself well against Pacheco, man, and that's another fight. A lot of the boys picked Diego to win by knockout, and it just never came. They call him bulletproof because bro got that Mike Tyson neck, that T-Rex head, and I mean, the dude could fight. Dude, Brandon Glanton could box. He's mean. He could punch. He's durable. He's hungry. He's traveled. We've seen him travel to Africa to fight. We've seen him travel to the UK to fight. So like none of those things, those sort of like external variables that sometimes can affect a fighter, affect this guy. He's going in there to win too. I gotta be honest, man. I would be shocked if Jai stops him. I would be really, really impressed if Opetaia could stop Glanton. I'm high on Brandon. I've been preaching Brandon Glanton for 2 years. So it's not like when that fight got signed, I was like, oh shit. People are like, oh, I'm salty. Who is Brandon Glanton? I'm like, you guys are out of your mind, dude. This dude's coming in there to win. He's kind of like a kept secret. Watch his tape. Watch how he fights. Uh, mean. The thing is, on his entrances, his offensive variance a bit limited. Doesn't have a lot of punch selection, but he makes up for it with power, determination, um, even output. He's on you. He's going to be on you. We're going to see if Jai likes being on the back foot. It's a fun fight. I think if Jai stops him, it's early. I think the only way Jai stops Glanton is if he catches him early coming in. But I don't think I think Glanton is going to have a good game plan. If I was Glenn, I would stay. I would use my jab, use my 3-inch reach advantage, jab to get in, put Opetaia on the ropes, put him in the corner, make him uncomfortable, see if he can punch himself out. You got to taste the power. You got to taste the speed. I just think that I'm thinking we're going to see a long fight. Right? We get greedy with the parlays now. Yeah, don't get greedy, boys. Get comfortable with winning. That's a philosophy on life as well. I feel a lot of us, life is difficult, and not many of us were handed anything in life. You know what I'm saying? We all have our own story. We're all a kid from somewhere, and I know, like with my own life personally, and friends I grew up with, sometimes it's difficult to win, which sounds insane. Sometimes when you have, your bank account is the biggest it's ever been, sometimes that's when you spend the most, and you get into this sort of cyclical pattern of behavior of being wasteful, and it all comes down to you not knowing how to win. And that's a subconscious thing, that's a habitual thing, that's a lack of awareness sort of thing. So even with the betting sort of stuff, you got to get used to winning. Find your wins, don't get greedy. There's a difference between winning and being greedy. Yeah, you're right. Taking power by points, kill my. That's no, never. And this is one thing. And you guys know damn well I'm not always right, but I feel as we grow with our squad, what we are though doing is developing a strategy. That's the thing, man, that I take notes on. I'm right. I'm like, all right, if I did this, and I take my losses way more personal than I take credit for my wins. Like the wins are nice. The wins are nice, and sometimes the adoration for me gets a little uncomfortable. People thanking me, that's a little bit uncomfortable. I like sticking to the game plan and moving forward. But it's the losses where I'm like, all right, there's one thing with losing and because you picked the wrong guy. There's another thing when it was because of strategy. And for me personally, I've definitely stepped my game up with strategy. Things like this. Like, if I have a keen interest on a method of victory, or if I think that this guy is going to go about it this way, I'm going to just sell out just on that bet and just let him sit alone on his own ticket, kind of like a little like trading card, and just let him sit there on his own little shelf and wait for that fight to happen. And then also with the dogs. You got a dog plus money, put him on his own little shelf, wait till that fight goes. Because if everything else, if a parlay gets burned or some other shit gets dusted, you still got these little things sitting there individually. And, you got to find your wins. Okay, here we go. I got you, brother. So you're going to put this bet already, Chris. Here you got. Let's pull it up. Let me see if I could get, thanks for reminding me. Let's see the options on it. That's John O'Carroll. There he is, March 15th. My mother's birthday. Happy birthday, Rosie. Okay, so John O'Carroll right now is a dog at plus 135. I'm glad you brought this up because I want to remind people about his resume. Colin Murphy's a $1.66 favorite. Damn, he's already 33 years old. 25-3. Been stopped once. 5'7" southpaw, Irish King Kong, fights at 135 pounds. That lost to Elber Badargaziev. See, and Badargaziev is the guy that Jazza Dickens just steamrolled. And this is why Badargaziev was a 5-1 favorite over Jazza, because of how he looked against Jono. He has a loss to Maxie Hughes. Maxie, we've won money on Maxie Hughes. He has a loss to Tevin Farmer. Wins over John Quigley. Didn't he beat Quigg? Yeah, he beat Scott Quigg, which was an interesting fight. Stephen Foster. Carlos Perez. Miguel Mariaga. He's coming off the win over Alex Prado. Cole Murphy, 16-0. I got to do tape, man. 26 years old, posh boy. Now, if you're looking at optics, you get a grizzled veteran, John O'Carroll, against a young babyface fighter nicknamed Posh Boy. People are going to take Jono just for the sake of optics. But when we get closer after this fight weekend, I'll get back to you, big dog. Posh Boy. Man, you can name... Dude, what, that's your nickname, bro? Posh Boy? You better be a fucking stud. Just starching people named Posh Boy. I'll put you on the corner to make me some money. Thinking of taking Max this weekend. Yeah, I got Max. I took Max. I think he handles Oliveira. The normal mornings for boxing. Thanks, man. I came up with the idea yesterday, and it's just, and if you don't know what DJ's talking about, go to my YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels. I posted 2 of them. I did the Jai Opetaia, Brandon Glanton, and the Seb Fendora, Keith Thurman. Because, dude, it's all we think about, and I'm constantly thinking of ways on how we could continuously sort of grow. It's been an the whole thing's been an organic growth. I've never paid for an ad. I've never done any sort of like marketing. I started this channel from nothing. We're approaching 28,000 subs. So I'm like, what YouTube does do is they send you sort of tips as a content creator how to reach more people. And what they do is they promote the shorts, the YouTube shorts, the under 60-second content. So I'm like, all right, because I'll do like 60-second shorts of like upcoming fights. I'll do my swindler shorts. And it just was an idea. How can I do something no one else is doing? I don't watch any other content creators. I assume nobody's else doing that. Just put the film on me doing some mundane everyday shit that we always do, and then I do the voiceover of like the shit that we're always thinking. Like, what do we got to do? We got to go to work. We got to wake up. We got to brush our teeth. We got to go to the grocery store. But what are we always thinking? Like, I wonder who's gonna fucking win that fight. I want that. That's at least how I am all day. Like I'm like last night I was in bed thinking about fucking punk ass Steven Butler versus Ramadan Aseni. I'm like, I should not be thinking about a C-level fight at night. But you know what? We're gonna make some money off that fight. So if whatever we could do could help the team, that's what I'm gonna do. Brand Glanton took a beating at CBS. Giants one punch knock. I like CBS, but over makes sense. I mean, Glanton cut CBS. CBS was taking flush shots too, man. The thing is, CBS jumped off to such an early lead. He was like, but CBS got cut, I think, in the 9th. I don't think it was as close to the scorecards. I had CBS winning that widely, by the way. Jai's opponent kind of worries me, but I don't see Jai losing. I feel like he's got that. I'm not going to lose this damn fight switch. That determination. It's not the thing too, guys, we have to keep in mind about cruiserweight. It's not a deep division, so the pool of talent globally isn't going to be like at 135 pounds. You know what I'm saying? So just because a fighter isn't a household name doesn't mean that they're not live in a division where there just aren't a lot of fighters. It could be a case where Jai, and I don't think this is the case. I'm just not 100%. I'm old, dude. You have to fucking prove it to me that you're the best. I don't know I'm still not 100% convinced that Jai Opetaia is that dude. That's all I'm saying, dude. And if you want to get offended by that, you could get offended by that. But I'm going to let history play out. I'm going to let the future fights play out before I ever ordain a guy as being the best. I've watched fight after fight after fight after fight of certain fighters since I was a kid prove to us that they're the best. The Floyd Mayweathers of the world, the Oscar De La Hoyas, the Manny Pacquiaos, the Terrence Crawfords, this modern era, a lot of these guys who aren't even 30 years old yet. Slow the brakes, man. I need to see more. I need to see more. I want to see Shakur in there with a big puncher who could counter as well. I want to see Jai Opetaia in a fight with somebody who will stand there with him and push him back. Like I'm not convinced yet on Jai. Like they're coming from Australia, in the cruiserweight division, there's just not a lot of world class talent guys that you could pair that guy against because he is so good. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, but I'm not convinced. I'm not saying he's a bum. He's one of the best. But is he that dude? I don't know yet. I don't know yet. We'll see. Greed is deadly. Yeah, that's what we do, Showtime. It's a deadly sin, man. I ain't about that greed life. What dogs do you have looking this weekend? Uh, Not a lot. My books aren't showing that much, man. Let's go through it. Nothing's jumped off yet. And guys, you gotta. The one thing, if you're new to the channel, I know you're not new, Ed, is that I don't force dogs. Like the, some weeks there just aren't any dogs. There's nothing that for me that's jumping off the paper that I'm saying that this guy's a dog yet. So like lately, it's been the case. We've been really good at dog hunt. Just call us the dog catcher, boy. We out here, we're out here catching dogs, dog the bounty hunter and shit. But the swindler. But right now, nothing jumps off. Let's have a look. It's just all the fights aren't listed yet, is my point. I need an NRL and an AFL sharp for our Discord, by the way, for all you Aussies. We launched the NRL and AFL Discord channels. We also launched F1. I got action on the Melbourne F1 this weekend. I'm taking Max Verstappen at plus 300. He's $1.80 to podium to land the podium, so 80% return. So don't be shocked if you see some F1 tickets in our Discord. All right, so this is the only action I'm getting. I haven't looked at this fight. I haven't looked at Moreno Fendero yet versus Sean McCallum. Like, this is, I mean, God, yuck. I mean, no offense, but I haven't looked yet. John Arobio versus Alamo. I'm taking Arobio to stop him. Leonard Perez, I'm taking by knockout. Stephen Butler, I'm waiting on odds. And that's it. I'm getting 5 fights, boys. Not a lot, right? Yeah, the dude's name is Posh Boy, man. We gotta. Oh, maybe Posh Boy's a reference to some famous Canadian show that I don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Posh Boy, he better be knowledgeable on that. I guess. See, I should see when I was coming up. By the way, the word stud meant like dog. Have you seen like Mike Singletary, the middle linebacker for the Bears? That dude's a stud. How about the free safety for the 49ers, Ronnie Lott? That motherfucker's a stud. Now, somewhere along the lines, the gays and the LGBTs and the lesbians stole stud, and now stud means a girl who markets herself as a guy. But I'm not gonna change it. A stud to me is a dude that will knock you out, take your wallet, and take your girl. That's a stud. That motherfucker's a stud, boy. Like that sort of thing. I'm not adhering to the I present like a bloke, but I'm a woman. Now you have to call me a stud. That's not what a stud is. When I was coming up, those were called butches, bull dykes, that sort of thing. I don't be changing language. We know what you mean. Do you think Navarrete versus Bam? That fight will no, that would be a terrible fight. Navarrete is 5'7", walks around on fight night at 160 pounds. He fights at 130. Bam Rodriguez fights at 115 pounds. He's 5'4". That would never take place. That'd be a horrible fight. But learning weight classes. I should. This is a teaching point. I wasn't using my humor to diminish your question. It's a valid question. Um, and I remember when I was, when you're getting into boxing as well, even if you're a boxing fan or you're a fan of a fighter, it's really hard to keep track of all the weight classes because there's a lot of them. And so what works for me is to keep track. You could either learn them by name or learn them by numbers. You know what I mean? So his like Bam had come up from the lower weight classes from 112, 115. He's the king at 115. And over the last year and a half, the king of 115 was Bam. The king of 118 was Junto Nakatani. The king of 122 was Naoya Inoue. The king of 126 as of late is Rafa Espinoza, and the king of 130 as of late has been Emmanuel Navarrete. So, and then there's other guys, obviously. I like what I heard on a podcast recently. You have the king of each division, and then you have belt holders, right? So those are the ones. So when you look at would this fight make sense, you'd be like, wow, Bam is 5 divisions away. So I wasn't trying to demean the question. It's actually a valid question. Weight classes are important though, so they make weight classes for a reason. Bam would just be too. Bam's one of my favorite fighters. He would just be too small. Jai did surprise me against Jordan. He knocked out a guy a lot bigger than him. Something to think before picking the decision. Yeah, if I play the decision, it's going to be more about Brandon than Jai though. For me, that's what it's going to have to be about. Because I wouldn't be picking the decision based on me thinking that Jai can't punch because I know Jai can punch. You know what I mean? It would be me picking the grittiness, the toughness, the durability, the bulletproofness of Brandon. So that's what I would be leaning on. Raleigh or Haney. I mean, look, I don't really use my show to for future predictions. If that ever goes live, we'll break it down. Hey, dog, I don't think no one saw Trini Achoa's Trini Achoa. That guy toasted parlays. If that's the thing, man, have if anybody out there had Trini Achoa on your parlay with like Abel, yeah, you'd be real salty. So like moving forward, for you guys who are like when we do our long parlay, our you know big favorites, $1.07, $1.10, those are just for freaking fun, man. Those aren't locks. Those are half unit long parlays. Meaning like the more units, that bitch is long. You print out the piece of paper, damn, that bitch of paper is long, boy. That's what I mean by long. That bitch is long. Um, but yeah, that was a C-level prospect contender prospect fight. He was on my 9 leg long parlay at like half unit plus 110. It was the first ticket. It was one of the only tickets I lost. Was Trini losing a decision? Kakachi early knockout. I like Kakachi to beat Jazza. Kakachi's coming off surgery. We last saw him look really dominant against, um, Lee Wood, and Lee Wood kind of turned the clock back a little bit against Warrington. I like Kakashi. Queen, Keisha, hey John, hey, we welcome Queen. We'll keep it copacetic. We'll keep it copacetic. We appreciate you here. Welcome to the squad. I'm gonna have a bunch. Jai, maybe the over. Pull dagger. Yeah, look, man. Back in the day, growing up in the '90s, none of these were like obscene terms. Like these, like I remember I went to school with Ebony Spencer. I was like in 3rd grade. She was in my neighborhood. At 3rd grade, man, I was like this big. Ebony Spencer, she was yoked up in 3rd grade, throwing them hands, dude. She had a mean lead hook. Ebony used to beat blokes up. Boy, Ebony could scrap. I'll never forget the first time I saw people pull people's hair out. Youngstown, Ohio, 1989. I was 7. We were on Mr. Hopkins bus 83. And we had to go through the hood, the north side of Youngstown, and our bus would be getting pelted with rocks and snowballs. And Mr. Hopkins, boy, he would pull the bus over. He would chase people. And one time there's a street fight going down, pulls up, and these girls are throwing hands. Boom, boom, hair's getting ripped out. And one of them was Ebony Spencer. I was like 8. Ebony was out there in a brawl. Ebony had hands, boy. Man, she get hit hard. She used to carry this brush with. Anyway, I digress. You ever get hit with a plastic brush, boy? As a kid? Shit. My mom used to beat us with a plastic brush. Ebony used to carry one of those though. Thurman is a lot better, and he dropped everyone he fought because he's smart enough. Oh, dude, we are 50 minutes in. It's the first time we talked about Keith and Seb. I'm stressed about that fight. Keith's 37, Seb's 28. We know 5'7", 6'6", 5'9", 6'6", 10-inch reach difference. 30. It's really, 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 really hard for me to get past Keith's age. And when Keith was at his best, what did Keith rely on? His athleticism, speed, explosivity. That is going to have to be at the highest level to get past Seb's reach. And Seb, it's shocking to me how many people still just talk shit about. Dude, Fundor's that nightmare, guys. And he's only getting better. He just turned 28 years old, 6'6" puncher who's aggressive, long, exciting. I don't see how people could talk trash about Fundora. He's an exciting fighter, man. This dude just stands in there, brave as hell, long as hell, looking like. Dude, how do people talk trash about that dude? Dude, he's one of my favorite fighters. If I wish he fought 5-6 times a year. Well, the good news about Jazza is the history books will always say, once we're all dead and gone, at one time in 2025, Jazza Dickens was a world champion. Shout out to getting elevated. And shout out to Sugar Nunes. Or no, shout out to, well, Anthony Kakachi vacated his belt because he didn't want to fight Sugar. He wanted to go down to fight Lee Wood for more money. Jazza then fights Albert Badagaziev and beats him. And then when Kakachi got stripped, I'm pretty sure that's when Jazzy got elevated. So it's all coming full circle. And now watching the blueprint, which we call predicted it beautifully, step by step, on how Navarrete was going to just tear down and destroy Nunes. I mean, who would you take, Kakachi or Nunes? Johnny, what's your parlay for the Opetaia card? Who's your dog? What's up, Dr. Hook? I don't have the odds yet, brother, but stay tuned. I'm a Shushu fan, mate. I'm not even gonna argue with you on that. I'm a big Shushu fan. I'm a big Rafa fan. Rafa's one of my favorite fighters. We got Angela Leo in the house at 26. We got Rafa in the house at 26. We got Shushu in the house at 26. We got Brandon Figueroa in the house at 26. Let's go. I want to see Figgy versus Bruce. Let's see what time it is out here. What's up, Dr. Hook? Dr. Hook coming through with the super chat, guys. However you could assist us, help us, support us. Dr. Hook, he's a VIP JSB insider. He says, Johnny, what? So, Carlos, I don't have. It's Tuesday morning right now in Australia where I am. The fights will take place. The Jai Bataya fight takes place next week for me. So Jai fights on my Monday. So I'm still 6 days away, meaning that I will be giving you my picks. I just don't have them yet. Okay. And then because you're a JSB insider, you'll see them first. You'll see all of them. I will be posting all of them. Who's my dog for Chisora Wilder? I haven't looked yet. You're up from the Navarrete TKO. Stay up. If it can pay a bill, pay the bill. That's what I always tell people. No matter what your bankroll is, if you're up from boxing and if you really want to make it feel tangible, winning on boxing, don't just take your winnings and bet on arm wrestling. Take your winnings. If it could pay your mobile bill, if it could pay your car bill, if it could pay your mortgage, pay a bill. And it's not necessarily the simple task of paying the bill. It makes it real. It's like, oh shit, I just took my knowledge of the game and I paid off something. Rather than, I'm about to double this up and I'm about to make 100K. And then you build it up to 20,000. And you're like, all right, it's a 2-to-1 lock. And then it's not a lock and you lose it. And you're sitting there, man, I hate this guy. I hate gambling. That's why I'll never be talking to him no more. I used to live with a dude in Vegas just like this. He was such a degenerate. I talk about him all the time. I'm going to bring him on the show one time. I'm going to call Aaron up and be like, we used to call him, what was Aaron's nickname? Not the Weebler. It'll come to me. His nickname was all of our boys called him the. It was either the Weebler. He always won. It'll come to me. I'm gonna bring him on the live stream so he can be teaching lessons to you. Weave was getting pulled. Yes, Ebony Spencer, boy. She hit me once in the back. You know, because we grew up clowning. You would clown, you get into a roast session, you make fun of someone, and then you just walk away, and then you catch one of those punches to the mid back spine to where you're like, and it's all hollow. You drop to a knee, like the middle of the spine, boy. You go to both knees, and then you got to make adjustments moving forward. You either continue to talk shit, and if you do that, you have to exit with a strategy to not turn your back to make sure that nobody attacks. I've been attacked a few times clowning, making fun of people. That was one of my go-to best skill strengths as a kid was clowning. We used to have roast sessions. My childhood best mate, Roastin, is a famous stand-up comic. I talked about him before on the show. I'm not gonna name drop him though. Youngstown, Ohio, boy, we produce a lot of talent. Who you got rematch, Dev or Ryan? Dev. I got Thurman, put 2K. Ooh, nice. Plus money, too. It's hard to bet against Keith. I want to see it, the best, like Keith, the Keith that we know should beat Seb. Like the Keith that, the 147 Keith, the guy that nobody wanted to fight. The guy whose only loss is a decision to Pacquiao 5 years ago. Like, does he still exist? Ma used to hit your knuckles with the plastic brush. Bro. Knuckles, back of the head with that boy. Knuckles, we used to get that one. Get you in. Charles Styles all wrong for Max. People are acting like Charles shin his toes because he got finished by Ilya. Even if Max drops Charles, he's not going to go on his guard. Maybe. Oh, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe so. Oh, maybe. Keith Thurman is... Well, yeah, he cut his teeth in 47. Of course. Yeah, this fight's at 54. What a weekend. Thank you, Johnny UPS. Back to the grind with Zufo. We back up. Jay Husky, man. Appreciate you. Dr. Hook. Okay, so a lot of the boys are on Thurman. I got Thurman for the 1,000 and 300 for the TKO. Ooh, so you could see him getting on the inside, just using that speed. Bop, bop, catching him. Body, head, let's go. So his Jazzy got elevated when Roach vacated. I really did not like Glanton. Yeah, it looked all right. Everyone likes Thurman here, boys. I'm not seeing a lot of Seb Fundora fans. No, so is anybody taking Seb? Let's hear it right now. Who's taking Seb? I don't like the odds to take Fundora. I think it should be 50-50 on paper. I think if you like Keith, you should put your bets in now because I got to think come closer to fight night, there's going to be a lot of money coming in on Keith, right? You got to think so. Those odds are probably going to get closer and closer. I assume the Keith Seb odds are going to get closer and closer come fight night. Right now they're wide. I think if you really like Keith and you're convinced, put your money on now on the money line. Have not all of them, some of them. That one last week I did. That one last week we up. I did put my UFC parlay. It's up right now. That's a half unit. Good question. Okay, so we got some Seb fans. So Eddie's taking Seb. Eddie, how do you see it going? Why do you like Seb? You like him obviously use his distance, his reach. Just be too much to handle, too much size. That punching down for Thurman to show his age. What are you saying? MMA better. You're with Seb too. How do you see it going, boys? I want to see your path to victory for Seb. Because, he doesn't use his reach. He's going to fight him on the inside. Keith, this is a great value play. Yeah, Carolyn Dubois is fighting Terry Harper. That's a fun fight. Dubois should get that done. Mosby. Seb is gonna stop Keith. I could see it. I could see Seb stopping Keith, breaking him down. Keith, looking his age. This ain't cornrow Keith. Seb doesn't stop cornrow Keith. We don't got cornrow Keith though no more. We got that. We got no cornrow Keith. But cornrow Keith was a different beast. Now we got no cornrow Keith. So I don't know. I can see Seb stopping him too, man. I'm a big Fandora fan, but seeing the way he been dropped, TKO'd. Yeah, yeah. That was it. Brian Mendoza. It's tough to get the Brian Mendoza fight out of people's head. But that was. I mean, he was 21 years old, guys. You guys don't think people grow? People don't change? Y'all cats be holding grudges? Y'all, the chat doesn't believe in evolution. The chat looks at fighters when they're at their worst. That's who they are. That's what does it. I definitely think that this version of Seb will be the best version of him. He literally built This is why I like the fighting Fandoras, is that they created a fighting compound on their property. Like the mom was a fighter, the sisters obviously Gabby, she's amazing. There's another younger one coming up. Seb obviously, and they live in a ring. They built a compound. You're telling me that that kid doesn't give a shit about he doesn't care about fame. He doesn't care about social media. He reads books, educates, gets degrees, enrolls in like Ivy League schools. The dude is a technician. He's a modern day samurai. I'm a massive fan of Seb Fundora, how he operates outside of the ring. That's one of my favorite things about Fundora is how studious he is. This dude is a master of his craft. You're telling me that he doesn't just fix. I see a guy in his fight style fixing things and working on things, and it's not easy being a 21-year-old kid at 6'6", figuring out that body type and figuring out where you're safe or where you're not. That angle when Mendoza caught him, he thought he was safe, but he wasn't. Boom, lights go out. He tried getting up, didn't work. There's a lot to like about Fundora. That's all I'm gonna say. I see Seb jab. Yeah, I could see Seb stopping him. 37 years old at 5'9" against a 28-year-old 6'6" puncher in a division that Keith hasn't mastered the 154-pound division, dude. It's not like Keith ain't been dominating. Keith hasn't been on this run. Brock Jarvis. Are we going to talk about the inactivity? For all of this jargon that we talk about, that I mean, Seb Fundora was dropped 6 years ago when he was a kid against Mendoza. Okay, I mean, all right. What has Keith done? Not much. Not much. This is not a prime Keith queen. Great point here. I don't know why people think this is a prime Keith. Keith is past prime, but it's the inactivity that bothers me. If this was cornrow Keith, I'd be jumping on him. But this ain't cornrow Keith. I'm a fan of Thurman. This is why boxing is. This is why it's the greatest sport on earth. We historically we have characters and we have personalities like Keith Thurman. He's great for the sport. I'm a big one-time fan. I mean, could you imagine if he turns back the clock and becomes a champion at 154? It'd be amazing for the sport, because then we get to see we get a world title defense in a new division. We get a whole nother press tour. We get another media tour. We get Keith on the mic. Like, it'd be great. He's going to be motivated. He wants all of that. So whatever happened to all this talk about Keith Thurman? This is crazy. Give me 1 second. When is the last time anyone has said the name? When is the last time anyone has said the name Boo Boo Andrade? What happened to Boo Boo Andrade? Like, what the hell? He fought David Benavidez. Has he fought since Benavidez? Demetrius was 32-0 with 19 knockouts, and is he retired? Is Boo Boo just done? I think he's like the only world champion ever from Rhode Island. There might have been some other Rhode Island guys. Holding grudges like they be holding grudges, boy. Brock Jarvis, that's your boy. To beat Fundora, you have to be all the way in, all the way out. Use footwork like Jamonte Clark. Use timing like Mendoza. You have to be all the way in, all the way out. Yeah, but you gotta admit though, man, it's a different. He's where he's elevating is his understanding of his own range and his space and his timing. With this guy, it's all about what he does. I mean, he's fought smaller guys his whole career. A 37-year-old 5'9" athlete. I mean, it's a tough. But then again, the odds suck. It's not. I don't like Seb on the money line. I'm gonna have to get sexy and pick him and pick an outcome. I'd like to see Mendoza back. Be a good fight. Boo Boo was that man. What happened to Boo Boo? I know, man. He hasn't fought in 3 years. Boxing's a brutal sport. I know, man. I like Demetrius. He's good for the sport. All right, guys, I got to wrap up. Stay tuned. Appreciate you. Let's go.